9 Saturday. I'm Rick Schremp for 1410 ESPN Radio.
1410 Wing AM, Dayton's ESPN Radio, powered by...
Hey, Cordell Transportation is now hiring experienced Class A CDL drivers, excellent pay, benefits, and a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Apply right now, online at CordellTransportation.com. Do it right now. Driven to succeed.
ABS, TPMS, CVT, VVT. The auto industry loves its alphabet soup, but at Carroll Works Tire in Dayton, we keep it simple. The only acronym you need to remember is TIRE. Trust, integrity, reliability, expertise. That's what we deliver every day. Carroll Works Tire, keeping Dayton rolling with TIRE service you can count on. Find us online at C-W Tire or talk to a real human. 937-461-5441.
Oh, how great it would feel to have your 20-year-old knees, shoulders, hips, and back.
You know, you don't think about your pains when you're in your 20s or 30s, but you wish you could get that body back when you're in your 60s. I think QC did that for me.
For Patrick, it started with a simple phone call to QC Kinetics.
One day I was driving and I just heard the radio and I pulled over and took the number and I called them when I got home.
Maybe that's you and you're listening right now. Why wait? QC Kinetics Regenerative Treatments uses your body's own natural biologics to heal and restore damaged tissue without invasive surgery or harmful drugs. And as for the results,
my knees are as good as they were when I was in my 20s. I'm really happy with what happened.
For Patrick, it's like QC Kinetics turned back the clock. Now it's your turn. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 937-936-0325. That's 937-936-0325. 937-936-0325.
If you need new roofing, siding or gutters, skylights or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. See Lance Roofing and Siding at their new location at 6903 Dayton Springfield Road in Enon. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722. Online at lanceroofing.com.
Hey everybody, it's Stephen A. Smith, and everyone knows my feelings on Cowboys fans. But really, Justin Kenner, you're a Cowboys fan and a Browns fan? Good Lord have mercy. I don't know what the hell to do with y'all. I really don't.
Exactly, Stephen A. He's been here for 10 years, and we're still trying to figure him out. The Justin Kenner Show, weekdays at 3 p.m., right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. You want hot takes?
No, I'm not going to apologize to Ryan Day. Everything we said about Ryan Day up into the playoffs was true.
Not bad. Come on, Kenner. You can do better than that.
To be fair, of all the elite quarterbacks in the NFL, Joe Burrow is the least accomplished.
Getting better.
1,000,000%. I 1,000,000% believe that the Dayton Flyers are afraid of the Wright State Raiders. That's why they come up with every excuse in the book not to play them.
There it is. The hottest take of them all. It's the Justin Kenner Show, presented by Frickers, live on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Well, today's going to be interesting. It's a rare Reds front office victory that we're going to open up the show with here today. Happy Thursday. It's the Justin Kenner Show presented by Frickers. Frickers, your home for fun, food, sports, and spirits. The Major League Baseball All-Star break continues. Yes, the Home Run Derby and the All-Star game have come and gone, but a couple more days off yesterday and today, of course, and then, well, everyone gets right back at it. Starting tomorrow, and of course, everyone knows the Cincinnati Reds, well, that was kind of a very painful first half of the season. In fact, as they sit here at 43-52, they're 9 games under 500, but they're 15 and a half games back of the division. And the wild card, where they were really hovering around 2 to 3 games back for the majority of the first half, well, the free fall in late June, or really June and into July, just have put them in a tough spot. They're 8 games back of a wild card spot. And not only are they looking up at all the teams in the division, but they're looking up at all their division, rivals in the wild card standings as well. The closest team in the division that they are within reaching distance of in the wild card picture is the Pirates, and the Pirates have a 6-game lead on the Reds. The Pirates are 3 games above 500 at 50-47. The Reds will be back in action tomorrow night as they kick off a 3-game series against the Colorado Rockies. Now, we talked about this on yesterday's show. I thought it was an interesting decision of the Reds August 3rd is the Major League Baseball trade deadline. So you have a couple more weeks. You have a couple more weeks to kind of really, get this going a little bit to maybe show the front office that, hold on, don't blow this thing up yet. Don't move on from some pieces yet. Let's keep this roster intact, maybe add something. But the only way you can convince the front office of doing that is by getting off to a hot start. Well, you have a team in the Rockies with the second worst record in all of baseball that you're kicking off the second half of the season against. That's a perfect team to springboard into the second half with some momentum against. The problem is, when you want to set the tone and you want to come out of the gate swinging, you kind of want one of your heavy hitters on the mound, right? I would envision, especially with the way Hunter Green looked in his last start against the Chicago Cubs. Many, Reds analysts out there said that might have been the best Reds start. That might have been the best professional start for Hunter Green throughout his entire time as a Red. You would think you would want to get him back out on the mound as soon as possible, especially in game one of the second half of the season, to set the tone and jump out early and put a stranglehold on the Rockies. But they're changing it up. They're mixing up the rotation coming out. Brady Singer will be on the mound tomorrow night. Game 2, you will see Rhett Lauder. Hunter Green will close out the series against the Rockies on Sunday. And then we'll see Andrew Abbott in game 1 against the Mariners on Monday, and then Tuesday we will see Chase Burns. Now, we have to wait all the way till next Tuesday to see Chase Burns, but the good thing is, after what we found out today, the Reds and Reds fans, we're going to see Chase Burns for many, many, many more years. How about this? This was announced earlier today, and I think it caught a lot of Reds fans by surprise. ESPN's Jeff Passan, as well as many other Major League Baseball reporters, put it out there that right-hander Chase Burns and the Cincinnati Reds have agreed to a 7-year, $105 million contract extension, according to sources of ESPN. Chase Burns, 23 years old, an all-star this season, and what would be his first full season with the Reds, of course, one of the best young pitchers in baseball. And the interesting thing about this, there's no club options, all right? It's a straight deal. It's going to run all the way through 2033, all right? That's the significant part about all of this. The other unique thing about this deal with the Reds and Chase Burns, I mean, think about it. The Reds, we got to see Chase Burns called up, in the middle of last season. He has that injury. I think it was not a phantom injury, but I think that they were in no hurry to get him, back out there last year, because I think the Reds kind of had a feeling that they could potentially get into the postseason, and they wanted a chance to not shut him down. He was reaching his innings count, and I think that they used that last year. But the crazy thing is, we have yet to see him for a full season yet. And with this Chase Burns, the interesting thing about it is he becomes the youngest pitcher ever given it's the largest extension ever given to an MLB pitcher with less than 4 years of service time. This cat hasn't even played an entire full season yet. So, hasn't even had 40 years of service time, not even a full 2 years of service time. And this kid gets that the largest extension ever given to an MLB pitcher with less than 4 years of service time. So that $105 million over 7 years through 2033. All right, that puts the Reds and Chase Burns in a position where, he's going to be making $15 million per year on average throughout that. The Reds are going to it's a very similar deal. It's almost the same deal as what they did with Hunter Green. Hunter Green is their current ace. He's the face of their rotation. He's making about that $15 million a year. It's the same thing they did with Hunter Green a few years ago. Chase Burns jumps on that now. Now, what I'm curious about with this move, okay, with this move for Chase Burns, what does this mean? Okay, because you have Hunter Green through 2029. Okay, you have Hunter Green for the rest of this season, possibly 2027, 2028, and 2029. To have a 1-2 punch like that in this rotation, complemented by really good pieces with of course, Nick Lodolo, complemented by Andrew Abbott, Rhett Lauder. I mean, this is a very good homegrown rotation. That's one of the things that I talked about with Phil Castellini early in the season. I talked about it, at Reds Fest when I had a chance to sit down with Hunter Green. I kept telling any Reds pitcher I talked to, I just kept saying the thing that I was most fascinated by, the Andrew Abbotts, the Rhett Lauders, the Nick Lodolos, Hunter Greens, all these guys, Chase Burns, they're all homegrown pitchers. We talk about how bad this organization is. I don't think it's as bad as an organization as they're painted out to be. I think they need to be more aggressive. But the reason we're pissed off is because this organization, they draft well. They develop well, pitching, I should say. They don't develop well. Sal Stewart and Ellie De La Cruz have been, and Spencer Steer. They've been, they've been enjoyable to watch, but I mean, they haven't had a ton of success with hitters, of course, and especially outfielders. But with pitching, that's sometimes one of the most difficult things to do. They've nailed the pitching part. And to see a full homegrown rotation the way that the Reds have, I think it's pretty special. So the Reds have a decision to make, because what I can't tell is, what did the Reds just do? You extended Chase Burns through 2033. You have Chase Burns and Hunter Green pitching together through at least 2000, or at least, up until 2029. The Reds aren't going to be able to afford a Hunter Green extension. So I don't envision Hunter Green pitching through 2029. I could see the Reds giving up on him before the 2028 season, but maybe sooner, because I don't think there's going to be a 2027 season because of the lockout that's coming, and there will be a lockout, in my opinion, at this point. So who knows? But the Reds are in a very interesting spot. It's very unfortunate that we're going to be embarking on a potential lockout for the entire 2027 season, because this is a Reds team that, 2 of every 5 nights is going to be throwing out Chase Burns and Hunter Green. And there's nothing wrong with handing the ball off to an Andrew Abbott and a Nick Lodolo and a Rhett Lauder after. This team is very dangerous when it comes to the pitching. After that, now, you could talk about the Sal Stewarts and the Hunter and the Ellie De La Cruzes and others. But for right now, I love this decision from the Reds. It was an aggressive decision, and they keep Chase Burns through 2033. I'm not going to lie to you. When I saw a lot of the, Ken Rosenthal, when I saw a lot of the main MLB reporters and the Reds logo and Chase Burns' name brought up, the first thing I thought of is, oh my gosh, they're about to say that the Reds are shutting him down for the season. That's what I thought I was about to read. So the fact that when the reports started popping up and this tweet from Jeff Passan came up, the fact that this was not a report that the Reds were shutting him down, it was a breath of fresh air for me. In fact, it was an even bigger breath of fresh air to see that the Reds had extended him to the 2033 season. So we'll see what happens. Ron Howard bringing his positivity, of course. Another Paul Skeens situation. Great pitcher, crap team. This is actually nothing compared to the Paul Skeens situation. Paul Skeens has not extended in Pittsburgh. He has not extended in Pittsburgh at all. So it's not the same situation at all, Ron. Take your negativity elsewhere. Come on, this is a big day. Look, the Reds, they get buried. The front office makes a lot of bad decisions. This is a win for the Reds. Now, I'm going to step away for a few moments. When we come back, I am curious. Did the Reds just give him this 7-year, $105 million extension because the Reds desperately need to have a number one pitcher moving forward post Hunter Green? Or was this done to pair with Hunter Green for the next couple of years? I'm still of the belief that the Reds are going to dangle Hunter Green out there. I'm still of the belief that the Reds are going to move on from Hunter Green sooner rather than later. And was this deal done to have a strong 1-2 punch in this rotation, or was this done as an insurance policy when they move on from Hunter Green? What do you guys think? 937-518-1410. 937-518-1410. You could text that number or call that number to jump in on the show. Let me know what you guys think. It's the Justin Kinner Show presented by Frickers. A rare W for the Reds front office. Chase Burns inks a 7-year contract extension to remain with the Reds through 2033, $105 million over that 7-year span, averages out to about $15 million per year. The Reds, they have their ace for 7 more years, or do they have 2 aces for the years to come? We'll discuss more when we come back.
Do you have travel plans in the future? Are you TSA pre-checked? Hi, I'm Shannon Crabtree, representing Mike Foley's Montgomery County Clerk of Court's office. I'm reminding you that you can get TSA pre-checked as well as update your passport at our convenient auto title location inside the Montgomery County Administration Building lobby.
Hi, this is Mike Foley, your Montgomery County Clerk of Courts. Please visit GetTSAPrecheckNow.com to schedule your TSA appointment at 451 West 3rd Street in downtown Dayton. We do take walk-ins, but priority goes to appointments.
It's another convenient service of your Clerk of Courts, Mike Foley.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Hi, how can I help?
Well, my husband and I feel like we've outgrown our current money manager.
I see.
Our lives have changed, and we need something more than just mutual funds to help us in retirement.
She's right.
I hear that often. At Fisher Investments, we'd start by getting to know you, your finances, family, health, lifestyle. We tailor a portfolio around your goals and needs.
Sounds good.
Can you help with estate planning?
Yes. We have a team of specialists who can help you with estate planning, Social Security, investment income, and more. We'll get to know your whole financial picture and help keep you on the path to a comfortable retirement.
And your fees?
We have a simple, transparent fee that's a percentage of the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
I feel better already.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com/different. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
This is Lieutenant Governor Jim Tressel. If you're driving and take a quick glance at your phone, more can happen than you might think. Because taking your eyes off the road for even just a moment is like driving the entire length of a football field blind. Don't let those few seconds distract you from what's right in front of you. Phones down, eyes up, Ohio.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, commercial properties. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Hi, this is Michael, your service manager at Dave Arbogast Buick GMC in Troy, Ohio. I am inviting you to give us an opportunity to earn your business. We have expanded our hours to better meet your needs. We are now open until 6 p.m. during the week and 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. on Saturdays. We service all makes and models. We offer convenient shuttle service as well as pickup and delivery. Please visit us on the web at arbogastbuickgmc.com or in person. Exit 69 on I-75. Look for the giant American flag. I hope to see you soon.
Veterans, were you exposed to harmful burn pit smoke while serving overseas? The Department of Veterans Affairs has recognized and is providing benefits to veterans who suffer with asthma, rhinitis, and sinusitis as a result of burn pit exposure. If you served in the Southwest Asia Theater of Operations or Afghanistan, Uzbekistan, Syria, or Djibouti, and suffer from any respiratory illnesses that you believe is a result of exposure to burn pits, contact the Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission at 937-225-4801.
Cordell Transportation is looking for more weekend warriors. If you have a Class A CDL and would like to make some extra money casually driving weekend daytime routes, then Cordell Transportation is looking for you. Home daily, all loads round trip, no touch freight, and competitive pay. Full-time routes could become available if you're interested. Drive weekends at Cordell Transportation. Apply at CordellTransportation.com or call Ron at 937-277-7271. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Now, back to the Justin Kinner Show, right here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM.
Chase Burns and the Cincinnati Reds are in agreement on a 7-year, $105 million contract extension. 23 years old, Chase Burns, an all-star this season. Of course, one of the best young pitchers in baseball. No club options, a straight deal that'll run all the way through 2033. That was the report from ESPN's Jeff Passan earlier today. And, you know, it's a rare Reds front office victory. I see a lot of this on social media, by the way. A lot of people keep doing this whole, well, you know, this is what the Reds need to be doing more of. Let's be clear. The Reds do this. This is what they like to do. But it takes two to to tango. If you guys remember, and by the way, the Reds lucked out on this one. For one, Hunter Green, they did this with obviously years ago. That's how they were able to lock Hunter Green in through 2029. But Hunter Green agreed to it. They did it with Hunter Green. They tried it with Matt McClain. There was so much talk about what the Reds, were going to do. They tried it with Elly De La Cruz, knowing that he wasn't going to do it, but they tried it anyway. So they tried to get a contract extension conversation started with Elly, but they did it with Matt McClain. The Reds lucked out because Matt McClain thought he was too good to be a Cincinnati Red, right? Well, that kind of worked out against Matt McClain. I bet Matt McClain is pinching himself. But see, this is the gamble, right? This is the gamble. When teams see something from a player early on, both sides have to gamble a bit. The front office says, okay, Chase Burns, we haven't seen you pitch for an entire year yet, but we've seen enough. Will you marry me? You have no clue what it's like living with this person yet. You haven't even met the parents yet. You have no clue what the credit score is of this person yet. You have no clue what baggage this person, but you're so in love with what you've seen early on, you put a ring on that finger right away. You get that extension done. So that's the gamble. You don't know really much about this person, but you really, really like what you've seen so far. Will it stay that way moving forward? If you think about what the Reds did with Homer Bailey. They saw something, 2 no-hitters early on, and he was so young and early in his Reds career. Man, if we just sign him to a nice little contract early, get him on the cheaper side now, well, it ended up not working out, right? Imagine if so with Hunter Green, it was one of those two, it was a gamble either side, right? Like the Reds, okay, Hunter Green can't stay healthy early on, but we see that you're getting better. We see the progression. We see, where you're transcending to. We give you this extension. So the Reds were either going to have a starting pitcher for a really cheap $15 million a year deal, an average one, or they were going to have an ace that they were underpaying, and that's what they ended up getting, an ace that they were underpaying. What if Hunter Green would not have shown the ace quality stuff that he now has, and he was just average? Well, again, it's one of those where now the player benefits where, hey, I'm, at least have guaranteed money coming in. Chase Burns can have a major dip off moving forward, and we look back at this and say, man, the Reds made a mistake. But remember the feelings you have today. The Reds, right now, no one out there thinks the Reds have made a mistake because everyone loves what they see from Chase Burns. Just like if Matt McClain would have accepted the Reds contract offer 2 years ago coming into the season, imagine, all right, what the vibes would have been like when the Reds, if Matt McClain would have signed that, man, that's great. The Reds they've inked Matt McClain to 6-7 years. We have our second baseman. We have one of our core hitters now. You guys would not think that it was a smart move by the Reds. So it's hard to look at this move today and say it was a smart move. It's a gamble. That's all this is. It's a gamble. The Reds loved what they saw from Matt McClain after 1 year. We all did. Matt McClain was phenomenal his rookie year. Matt McClain has been butt cheeks ever since. Imagine if he would have signed the offer that the Reds gave him a couple years ago before we really started to see this, his bad play become the norm. So I love this move from the Reds. It's a gamble. If you let Chase Burns continue to pitch like this another half a year, another full year, then he's going to be like, and his agent will be like, nah, we're going to wait for our big payday coming up. But it's smart on both sides. Because if Chase Burns does have a major fall off, it doesn't matter. He's getting his $15 million, and he's in good shape as far as that goes. But I love this deal from the Reds. My biggest fear was with all this generational talent coming up from Hunter Green to Chase Burns to Elly De La Cruz to Sal Stewart, what are you going to have to show for it? And by the way, you have to keep some of these guys. You can't be afraid to pay all of these guys, and I'm still wondering how many of these 4 are the Reds going to keep moving forward. They technically kept Hunter Green. You already got him to 1 contract extension. You're not going to get him to a second one. But with, Hunter Green, with Chase Burns, with Elly De La Cruz, and now Sal Stewart, are 2 of the 3 going to be kept? Are all 3 going to be kept? I think it's a pipe dream to expect all 3 to remain Reds for the foreseeable future. Chase Burns will be a Red, obviously, through 2033. Will Sal Stewart? Will Elly De La Cruz? What if the Rob Manfred in Major League Baseball gets their way? What if they do get the floor and the salary cap and the salary floor implemented, and now all these teams have to spend at least $150, $160 million a year? At that point, if the Reds are forced to spend that much, you could technically, in theory, go that route. So who knows what to expect? But rather than turn the attention to negativity and say, well, how come they haven't done this with Sal Stewart? You know, they need to get these. They need to keep Ellie De La Cruz. Be happy that the Reds took Chase Burns, and he's going to be a Red long term. I mean, an All-Star this year in his first full year with the Reds. Hopefully, it's a first full year. Hopefully, he continues to pitch. But I like that the Reds are able to get this done. It's a gamble, like I said. For people to say, man, this was a great move. I think it's a great move. And it's kind of like my view on free agent signings and trades. The Reds signed Chase Burns today based on what he has done to this point and what they envision him doing moving forward. The Reds try to give Matt McClain an extension based on what he did up to that point and what they hoped he would do moving forward. Luckily, he turned it down. But had the Reds signed Matt McClain, you guys would be furious at the front office for what a dumb contract. I can't believe they signed Matt McClain to that. Like, this is why you got to think about that today. No matter what happens moving forward, this was a good move by the Reds because you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen moving forward. But based on what you know and how they look to this point, you have to make a move like this if you're the Reds. I like this move. You don't know what's going to happen moving forward. Chase Burns can go on to have an injury-plagued career. I hope that's not the case. But no matter what happens moving forward, Reds fans, you're very fickle. You cannot ever change your mind. Today was a great day. Today was a great move. You cannot, moving forward, if things don't pan out, say that today it was a bad move. Because I think everyone's in agreement this is a good move right now. You can't call it a bad move later if it doesn't work out. No. Based on what we've seen to this point, no matter what happens moving forward, this was the right move. You have to take a chance if you're the Reds. Just like if Matt McClain would have accepted that deal, that would have been a great move at the time. The Reds lucked out that he didn't sign it. But what if he had? What would you guys be saying about the Reds had they got that early deal done? Those deals that you guys are so adamant that the Reds need to do more of. Well, they're trying. It takes two to tango. Matt McClain didn't do it. But, man, imagine had he signed that. Imagine had he, because he has just not been good. He's not good. He has not been a good Cincinnati Reds player for years now. He had a good rookie season. That's where it ended. So these contracts can work out in your favor or they could blow up in your face. They obviously didn't get the deal with Matt McClain done, but that would have been an example of it blowing up in your face. I don't know if, the Homer Bailey thing blew up in their face, right? But had Matt McClain signed it, that would have blown up in their face. But Chase Burns, I don't think is going to blow up in their face. Hunter Green, it definitely did not blow up in their face. The Reds arguably have two pitchers that you could say are top 10 quality pitchers for a combined $30 million. Moving forward, you have two potential top 10 pitchers in baseball currently at about $30 million for the two. I'd say that's pretty good front officing by a bad front office. When it's all said and done. So who knows? Sal Stewart's next up. Everyone's saying he's on deck. I don't know what the Reds' reasoning is for not trying to engage in conversation. I wonder if Matt McClain plays a role in why the Reds are a little skittish. I think the Reds have a lot of confidence in their development with pitchers. You look at that rotation, as I stated earlier, that is a full homegrown rotation. All right? They like the Andrew Abbotts, the Rhett Louders, the Nick Lodolos, the Hunter Greens, the Chase Burns. They like those guys. They drafted them. They developed them. Like, those are their guys. And some they traded for, but you see my point. Like, they've come through the Reds system. They've been a part of the Reds developmental system when it comes to pitching. I think they're confident. I think that's why when they see Chase Burns get off to a hot start, it's not, all right, we need to see a little more. It's, yeah, we kind of know what we're doing with pitching. Believe it or not, I think it's fair to say that about the Reds. I wonder if, because the Reds have been so bad at developing bats, that Sal Stewart's been phenomenal. I think it's the most home runs by a Reds rookie since Frank Robinson back in the 50s. I mean, there's there's a lot of wins with Sal Stewart. But I think the Reds are wanting to see Sal Stewart second half of the season. I think they want to see Sal Stewart, how he starts next season. I could see a year from now, at the All-Star break a year from now, I could see, if there's a season, I could see the Reds and Sal Stewart getting a deal done a year from now. But I wonder if this stems from the Reds not having confidence in their ability at developing position players and bats. And I think because I'm telling you guys, as confident as we are in Sal Stewart right now, we were as confident in Matt McClain after his rookie year, right? We all were. I was. How were we supposed to know that someone that looked that good early on? Usually when you see a young player look that good early on, that's supposed to be the worst you're going to be. You don't even know the game yet. You don't even know you don't know Major League Baseball pitching yet. The game's supposed to get easier as far as, you learn more of the pitchers and the ballparks and the play. Sal Stewart, to me, I think the Reds are in love with him right now the same way they were in love with Matt McClain early. And they've seen how Matt McClain has kind of panned out a little bit. I think maybe that plays a role in this. I don't know. I'm not defending the Reds here, but I'm also not mad that they haven't engaged in conversations with Sal Stewart, because I see a lot of people beating up on the Reds for that. I'm fine with the Reds being a little patient with Sal Stewart. By a little patient, I mean maybe, in the summer engage I always say the summer, in the off season, in the winter, during the winter time, and into spring training, maybe they get a deal done then, or maybe a year from now at this point in the All-Star break, get a deal done then. I'm fine with them being a little patient. I think, their confidence in Matt McClain, they were ready to go all in. And this is about the point that they were at with, of course, Sal Stewart, or Matt McClain with Sal Stewart. I'm fine with them waiting with Sal. Wait with Sal Stewart. Make sure he is for sure. I mean, he looks like the real deal. Don't get me wrong, but let's let the second half of the season get underway. Let's let the full season wrap up. A full season to Sal Stewart. Let's see what the cat looks like then, and then we'll kind of go from there. I'm Justin Kinner. It's the Justin Kinner Show here on a Thursday, 937-518-1410. That is the number that you can text or call to jump in on the convo. Let's go to the text line. This is Matt in Miamisburg. Matt, hope you're well. Matt says, love this deal. Really wish they would get a deal done with Sal Stewart. Yeah, Matt, that's what I know I just kind of touched on that, but I agree. But Matt, don't do that yet. Don't do that. Enjoy the Chase Burns signing. Like the Reds do a good thing and then it's right away we ignore it and go, yeah, but they didn't do it with this player. The Reds are never going to be a fully polished product. Okay. The Reds will never have a deep lineup. Okay. The Reds will never, I shouldn't say never. I thought they had a pretty damn deep pitching staff coming into the season, but the Reds are never going to be a complete product. They will never spend at the level that will put them in position to be a complete product. So they're always going to have deficiencies. There's always going to be flaws. All right. But I think right now with, inking Chase Burns to a 7-year extension through 2033, I think that's a huge win for the front office. That's a huge win for the fan base, a huge win for the organization. And like I said about Sal Stewart, let's think about how do we all feel about Matt McClain right now? The way we feel about Sal Stewart right now, we love Sal Stewart. We loved Matt McClain as well. And now we can't stand the sight of Matt McClain's name in the lineup. We could still feel that way about Sal Stewart in the near future. And I just wonder, the Reds didn't need to see much more from Chase Burns to know that he's the deal. The Reds have confidence that they could develop pitchers. That's my takeaway. I feel like they know pitching right now. They're on a nice little groove. All right. From the Nick Lodolo and his blister problem, that's not an indictment on the Reds. Have you guys ever heard of a reoccurring blister be a career killer? My goodness. It's one of those where I don't think that's an indictment on the Reds organization, because when Nick Lodolo is healthy and out there, he throws some good stuff. So from Hunter Green to Nick Lodolo to Chase Burns to Andrew Abbott to Rhett Lauder, this team, they can develop pitching. I'm not concerned about that, and I trust them with Chase Burns. If I don't trust him with position players. Sal Stewart looks great. So did Matt McClain. Let's let Sal's career breathe a little bit before we jump into the deep end with him. I have all the confidence in the world that he'll continue playing this way, but then again, I had all the confidence in the world that Matt McClain was the Reds' future second baseman for into the 2030s. Not the case. Back to the text line we go. Gary, I hope you're well, sir. Hey, Justin, assume you know that the audio feed is messed up, very low volume. Yeah, we're having some technical issues that I'm really hoping are going to get resolved here in the very near future. I appreciate you guys listening. I know some have been sending in emails and notes about it. I don't have enough I'm doing everything in my power to get us sounding right. But Gary, thank you. Please continue listening and be patient. Trying my best, as far as that's concerned. Nonetheless, let's go to Mike. Mike in Springboro. says, love this for the Reds. Hope they don't trade Hunter Green. That was the other point I was talking about earlier, Mike. I said, what are the Reds about to do with Hunter Green? Because the Reds have the Reds could be looking at this Chase Burns situation of, okay, we need to have an ace in this rotation because we're about to potentially move Hunter Green. And now if the Reds move on from Hunter Green, Chase Burns is the face of your rotation. I still feel pretty good about that. But I would also feel pretty good about watching Chase Burns and Hunter Green, play in the same rotation for a good chunk of time to see what that does. Can you imagine if Hunter Green would have started the season healthy? Now, again, hitting has been the problem. I get that, but I'm just saying, imagine how nasty this rotation would look if 2 of every 5 starts are stemming from 2 potential top 10 pitchers in Hunter Green and Chase Burns. So I don't know what the direction that the Reds are going in. Did the Reds extend Chase Burns so that they could potentially have 2 top 10 pitchers in their rotation, or did the Reds extend Chase Burns so that they have a viable ace replacement for when they move on from Hunter Green? I don't know. And I'm torn because you guys know my take on Hunter Green. The Reds can move on from Hunter Green because they could afford to. The Reds had a very, very good rotation this season during Hunter Green's absence, and it's because of Chase Burns, and that's who you've inked through 2033. So if you're without Hunter Green through 2033, I'm sorry, if Chase Burns is your ace through 2033, I think you're going to be okay. But man, it would be kind of cool to see what that would look like with Hunter Green at the same time. I just think that the Reds, because they have so many deficiencies, if you're going to move on from a Hunter Green, you can afford to. Your pitching is still going to be really, really good, but you need to fill some holes in the lineup and in the outfield. And Hunter Green can help you do that, assuming that they're not just going to go prospect hunting with Hunter Green, of course, but you know what I mean. It was kind of like the Myles Garrett deal. The Browns have one of the top defenses in the NFL. Moving on from Myles Garrett doesn't, mean that your defense is as good. Moving on from Hunter Green doesn't mean your rotation is as good. But the Browns have so many other issues, it doesn't make sense to keep Myles Garrett. The Reds have so many other issues, it almost doesn't make sense. So you have the best defensive player on one of the best defenses in the NFL, but you're so bad offensively, you're just kind of running in place. That's kind of like the Reds. They have one of the best rotations in baseball. They have a phenomenal pitcher in Hunter Green, and it's great to keep him if you have complimentary hitting, but you don't. He can go get you that hitting. You could still remain a very good rotation and be more balanced. That's what has to happen, in my opinion. Chase Burns allows you to do that. I see another text from Eric. Eric, I'll get to your text. I'll get to more of these responses when we come back. We're also live on the Justin Kinner Show Facebook page, the Justin Kinner Show YouTube channel. We'll be right back. It's the Justin Kinner Show, 1410 ESPN Radio, presented by Frickers. Frickers, your home for fun food, sports, and spirits.
Save big money on your next project when you shop at Menards. Make your home more energy efficient with a new front door from Mastercraft. Building the highest quality doors in a variety of styles and finishes. Shop our wide in-stock selection or design your door your way, in-store or online. Save big on Mastercraft doors. Plus, view our weekly flyer on Menards.com to check out all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Meet Matthew Preston. Inside his apartment, everything he holds dear is protected by Progressive's Renter's Insurance, like his laptop and a surprisingly valuable collection of baseball bobbleheads. Outside his apartment, his laptop is still protected, as are his bobbleheads, which he carries around with him for reasons no one knows. Renters, the limits of protection aren't just the four walls of your home. When you're in Progressive's Protection Zone, get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
I love days like these at the pool, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. I'm ready to make a splash with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza. Skyrizi is a prescription-only injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. At 4 months, most people saw 90% clearer skin when measured from head to toe, and many were even 100% plaque-free. People also saw significant improvement in psoriasis symptoms of pain, redness, itching, and burning.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Now there's nothing on my skin thanks to Skyrizi, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
I'm excited about it. You know, these cutting edge things that are new in medicine now, I'm all in on it. I'm all in on QC Kinetics. It works.
Henry Hinton decided to check out QC Kinetics regenerative treatments for his aching knees after seeing a close friend have amazing results without going under the knife.
I have a friend that started this, which is one of the reasons that I decided to do it. He could not play golf anymore, and he went to QC Kinetics and started having the treatments, and he's back golfing like 3 days a week. He couldn't play at all.
QC Kinetics gets you back to doing what you love, using your own natural biologics to help heal and restore damaged joints. Long-term relief that puts a guy back on the golf course.
You know, I've had one treatment so far, and I can already tell a difference. QC Kinetics works. I'm excited about it.
You're next. Start with a call to QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 937-936-0325. That's 937-936-0325. 937-936-0325.
What defines Ohio? A place that dares to go first and never looks back. There's no slowing us down. In Ohio, we're powering America, discovering breakthroughs, driving the future, propelling tomorrow. At Jobs Ohio, our mission is clear. Strengthen job opportunities and empower Ohio's workforce. Ohio, our time is now. See Ohio's momentum at jobsohio.com/Ohio's time.
You build more than projects. You build what communities rely on. When the job site runs on results, put Kubota to work. Backed by expert service and support from your local Kubota dealer. Right now, bring home select Kubota KX series with 0% financing available or save up to $12,000. Now through July 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com/disclaimers for full disclaimer.
Stop by Columbus Equipment Company in Columbus, Dayton, or Toledo to see a full line of Kubota construction equipment, or check us out online at columbusequipment.com.
Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken has never been an overnight sensation, but because of you, we've been an every night sensation for the last 6 decades. That's literal tons of famous chicken served. But we're not here to boast about quantity. We're here to tell you our legacy of quality hasn't changed and never will. So celebrate 60 years with the 1966 box, featuring 10 pieces of famous chicken, because we make the chicken, but you made us famous. Only at Lee's, famous for a reason.
KTH Parts Industries in St. Paris is now hiring and has increased the hourly wage of $22.48. That's right. KTH is looking for elite production associates, including press operators, overhead crane operators, and forklift operators. Apply today. KTH offers excellent benefits, including medical, dental, and 401k. KTH is a short drive from Bellefonte, Troy, Piqua, and Urbana. Upgrade your career and be valued by a company that really cares about you. Apply now at kth.net, an equal opportunity employer.
You have empty office space to fill or home office to create. You know what you need. You know what you'd like. But you also have a pretty good idea after you've shopped around the usual places. What you need and what you like might not happen. Well, then you haven't been to Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. Nobody has their selection. Nobody has their discounts. And every week, there's something new. If you need office furniture, Larrick's Warehouse Outlet can sell it to you for half the price and below manufacturer selected prices. Half price and below on hundreds of items. From budget to the best. From desks to filing cabinets. Before you go anywhere else, do yourself a favor and come to Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. With 25,000 square feet of selection, you're not going to want to go anywhere else. Larrick's Warehouse Outlet at 23 Mac Oil Avenue in Dayton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Larrick's, continuing the tradition.
Hey everybody, it's Stephen A. Smith, and everyone knows my feelings on Cowboys fans. But really, Justin Kenner, you're a Cowboys fan and a Browns fan? Good Good Lord have mercy. I don't know what the hell to do with y'all. I really don't.
Exactly, Stephen A. He's been here for 10 years, and we're still trying to figure him out. The Justin Kinner Show, weekdays at 3 p.m., right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Now, back to the Justin Kinner Show, right here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM.
All right, and we are back here on a Thursday. It's the Justin Kinner Show, presented by Frickers. Wrestling fans, if you are a wrestling fan, card subject to change with Benjamin Chimera coming up at 6 o'clock right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Talking a lot of Reds baseball today because there's a lot of Reds baseball to talk about. You got the trade deadline coming up on August 3rd. The Reds, 3 straight series coming out of the All-Star break, all on the road. The Reds kick off the second half of the season tomorrow night at the Rockies. No Hunter Green. Hunter Green will not be on the mound tomorrow, which is annoying. The Reds will send out Brady Singer tomorrow. Rhett Lauder will pitch game 2. Hunter Green will pitch game 3 on Sunday. My gripe about that is just because, like, right now, I would really love to know what the Reds front office mindset is. Like, are they still up in the air about whether they're going to blow this thing up? Do they feel like, all right, let's just see what they look like coming out of the break? You know, have they made up their mind? I'd like to think that they've made up their mind already, right? Like, I know a lot of you have. But if you are trying to fight to show that this is a different looking, a re-energized team coming out of the break, wouldn't you want Hunter Green on the mound right away? He's coming off arguably the best start in his entire career. I mean, he mowed through that Cubs lineup. I mean, he was efficient, dominant. I mean, he did not look like a guy coming off, elbow surgery just a few months ago. So good for him. Good for the Reds. But I just think it's weird to have him pitch on Sunday. I want him on the mound tomorrow night. I want to set the tone. Second half of the season, a chance to show the front office and the fans that, okay, we screwed up the first half, but we're ready to rock. Let's go. You take your worst pitcher in the rotation and throw him out there for the first game of the second half of the season. I don't like that. And then in game 2 with Rhett Lauder, I like Rhett Lauder, but he hasn't pitched an extended outing in quite some time because you moved him to the bullpen. So over the last couple of weeks. So that's what I'm concerned about as far as that goes. But either way, Brady Singer tomorrow, Rhett Lauder Saturday, Hunter Green on Sunday, and then we'll see Andrew Abbott on Monday as he kicks off the series against the Mariners in Seattle, and then we'll see Chase Burns on Tuesday. And like I said, to open up the show with that transition, I'm like, man, Chase Burns, we're going to be seeing him a lot in Cincinnati as they inked him to a 7-year contract extension through 2033, 7 years. $105 million. That averages out to about a $15 million a year. And, the Reds right now arguably have 2 top 10 quality pitchers. Numbers-wise, Chase Burns was easily a top 10 pitcher throughout the first half of this season. And Hunter Green, is a top 10 pitcher in baseball. So the Reds, for as bad as things are, it's kind of crazy that within this rotation right now, you might have 2 top 10 pitchers. But will they have Hunter Green long-term? That's going to be the big thing that we keep an eye on with that August 3rd trade deadline approaching. Gary Grebner on the Justin Kinner Show Facebook page, he says, I love the Chase Burns move, but they need to build around him. Totally agree that they can trade Hunter Green if they can get some real offense. That goes back to the previous part of the show when I said, look, I don't want the Reds to move on from Hunter Green, but let's be clear. Hunter Green might be the key to this team's success. And I don't mean him on the mound in Cincinnati. I mean on the mound somewhere else because of the return that he can get. The Reds, like, people are worried about the Reds farm system right now being a little depleted. I mean, it keeps Baseball America continues to have this team ranked in the 20s now. This is one of the better farm systems in baseball for years and years and years. But that's because of the Hunter Greens and the Nick Lodolos and the Chase Burns and the Rhett Lauders and the Andrew Abbotts and the Ellie De La Cruzes and the Spencer Steers and the Matt McClains and the Noelvi Martes and guys like that. So, yeah, that's why they've had one of the better farm systems. All those guys have been called up, and now it's a little depleted, right? I don't think you use Hunter Green to rebuild that farm system. I think that's going to be Ellie De La Cruz here in the next couple of years. I don't think they're going to get an extension done with him. And when they move on from Ellie, that's where you're going to load up. I think Ellie is who you go load up on prospects with. While you have Ellie and Sal Stewart and Hunter and Chase and guys like that, I think, with Chase Burns and this rotation, I think you use Hunter Green to move on from, to go get guys that can play right now. Use Hunter Green to go get an all-star outfielder. Use Hunter Green to go get an all-star outfielder and an all-star bullpen arm. I don't care. But the Reds need a consistent bat to put in this lineup with Sal Stewart and Ellie De La Cruz. And then, yes, they have to be aggressive in free agency if they have it in them. But I think Hunter Green could be the key to that. You keep Hunter Green and you keep on this pace of getting, scrappy, bottom of the barrel free agent bats. And, and Nathaniel Lowe hasn't been horrible. He's not the guy he was to start. He hasn't been a big factor by any means. But, obviously JJ Bleday has been nice. But JJ Bleday is one of those where, like, you're grateful for anything he gives you because you don't have a lot of expectations for him. I want a guy like Suarez that you brought in, you had expectations for, and he's obviously fell short. But the Reds need to be more aggressive in who they bring in if they keep Hunter Green. But we know they're not. So use Hunter Green to go get someone, someone that's at all-star level to put in this lineup to balance it out a bit. I don't think you should use. I'm not saying you can't get prospects for Hunter Green. You can, but go get a player or players that can help you now in that move. And then when it comes to replenishing the farm system down the road, use Ellie to go prospect shopping down the road whenever that time comes. I'm Justin Kinner. It's the Justin Kinner Show here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Let's see some other news that came out. So Reds opening day next season. The 2027 Reds schedule was just released a little bit ago. And how about this? I thought this was interesting. The Reds, with as much as they've struggled against the division, well, they better get all that stuff figured out because the first 6 games for the Reds next year are all against the division. Opening day against St. Louis, next season on March. I am so blind today. It's not even funny. I could barely see my screen at all. But yeah, it's going to be on the 25th next year. On March 25th. How about that? March 25th is opening day next year against the Cardinals, and then their second series of the season at home as well against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Their first road series will be against the Boston Red Sox, and then from Boston they'll go to New York for a 4-game stretch with the Mets, and then Minnesota, Texas, so on and so on. So there's your 2027 Reds opening day schedule. That's officially out, so go and keep an eye out for that. Some other news for the 2027 season that I thought was interesting. How about the All-Star Game? The 2027 All-Star Game will be held at Wrigley Field next year. Now, first of all, it's Wrigley. All right, Wrigley is just iconic. I mean, that's such a cool spot to have an All-Star Game. I just don't think there's going to be an All-Star Game next year. I don't think there's going to be a season next year. So I would assume that Wrigley will be the host of the 2028 All-Star Game, but who knows what's going to happen. But yeah, baseball's just been putting out some a lot of updates here today with the opening day schedule. I know we don't talk a lot about the Guardians, but the Guardians opening day will be against the Yankees. So the Guards will open up the season against the Yankees next year at home. So that's something that the Guardians fans can keep an eye on as far as that goes. So I'm sorry, the Guardians open up at Chicago, but their season opener, their home opener will be against the Yankees. My apologies, I butchered that. Sorry. But Guardians will open up the season at Chicago against the Cubs, and then the second series will be against the Tigers, but the first home series for the Guardians will be against the New York Yankees. So, yeah, I told you my contacts. I'm one of those where I'm supposed to change these out at the end of the week. I make them go as many weeks as possible. This is the result of that. I can't see my screen. It's so bad right now. So, yes, this is my fault. I can't even read anything that's in front of me right now. So, my apologies. But, all right, I'm Justin Kinner. It's the Justin Kinner Show. One more headline that caught my attention. I don't know how many of you watched the Home Run Derby the other night, but apparently not a lot of people did. I don't know if this is a result of it being on the streaming-only platform Netflix, but Netflix is the most popular streaming platform in the country. So I don't know if it's a result of that or if it's just, how many of you, does the All-Star Game and Home Run Derby still make you stop what you're doing? Was that, I think people in Philadelphia having Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper out there, I think was a reason enough for them to tune in, of course. But was there, Reds fans, was there a reason to tune into the Home Run Derby the other night? Baseball fans in general. Because I guess that it was the smallest, the Netflix's Home Run Derby, it was the smallest audience since 2003. It was the smallest audience since 2003, and it drew its lowest audience since 2003, about 5.3 million viewers. So with that move to Netflix, it was down 7% from 5.7 million last year. Look, I'm not going to, I think that's a drop off. Yes. 7% is a drop off, no doubt. But 5.3 million this year. There was 5.7 million last year on ESPN, ESPN2. Would it have got more viewers on ESPN, ESPN2? Possibly, maybe. I mean, I don't know. But I said this the other day. Everyone was being so negative. Oh my gosh, I can't believe they're moving it to Netflix. I don't know how many of every time I show up to work, a coworker is like, "Hey, did you check out that show on Netflix yet? That show on Peacock yet? Did you check out that show on Hulu?" That's all we do is live on these streaming platforms. And then we lose our damn mind when Major League Baseball or the NFL or NBA tell us to go to said streaming platform to watch our game tonight. I feel like we just choose to get angry at that. I don't know why. It's all I do is watch Netflix and watch Peacock and shows across all those platforms. But then, I'll watch, Amazon Prime and this Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime. Oh, I can't believe they're making me go to Amazon Prime. You're already there. You're already there watching your normal shows. I have no clue. Like, I do think we just complain to complain. But maybe I'm wrong. Was the drop in viewership for the Home Run Derby due to the fact that it was held on Netflix only? I don't think so. I don't know. Now, I think that the hitters, the participants in the Home Run Derby, I mean, Kyle Schwarber is the home run leader at this point. Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper. I mean, those are two big names. I've been disappointed in the Home Run Derby in recent years because you haven't been getting the best home run hitters in there. It's kind of like the dunk contest, not getting the biggest, all-stars in the dunk contest. I think that's why the slam dunk contest is not relevant anymore because you don't get any superstars. If the best dunker isn't an all-star, I really don't care. I don't really care about. I've said before, I'd rather watch LeBron James and Giannis Antetokounmpo do a layup contest before I watch a bunch of no names do a dunk contest. I want to see the all-stars. So I feel like that could have played a role. But to be fair, Schwarber and Harper are two big names. So I don't know what led to that. Maybe it was because it was Netflix, but I don't feel like it was that drastic of a number. 5.7 million to 5.3 million. I don't think that number is a big enough drop off to sit there and say, oh my gosh, we have to get this off Netflix. We have to get this off Netflix. But, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, I knew the All-Star game was a dud, but that obviously wasn't on Netflix. But it was a test run. That was baseball running a test on Netflix to see how it would go. I hope they don't blame Netflix for that. I think all of you guys are a bunch of crybabies, to be honest with you. I mean, my goodness, guys. Like, we got to stop getting mad at absolutely everything. Like, literally, that's all we do is binge watch shows on these streaming platforms. But the second our favorite sporting event or form of entertainment tells us that, whatever we watch is exclusively going to be on this streaming platform, we get angry. Why? I think we just hate change. I don't know, but we're already there. We're already there on those platforms. I don't know. I think it's kind of cool when Netflix holds Monday Night Raw every Monday, the Home Run Derby, when the Christmas Day NFL games. I think that's actually pretty neat, to be honest with you. I'm in the minority, but oh well. I'm Justin Kinner. It's the Justin Kinner Show here on a Thursday. 937-518-1410. That's the number that you can text or call to jump in on the conversation. The Justin Kinner Show presented by Frickers. Frickers, your home for fun food, sports, and spirits. More on Chase Burns when we come back.